We're back. Hi, everybody. I hope you are all having a wonderful Friday. Me and my team have been scrambling because Mr. Nathan Wade was subpoenaed to testify today at the Georgia Senate Committee. So I have a reporter friend with some connections down there. And we noticed this morning that there was, the local news was not putting their live streams up. So we're like, okay, that's odd. I did see one go up around 8:30, and that's when I scheduled this, and it was through 11 Alive. And oddly, they shut it down after like 2 minutes. I was like, okay, maybe he's not there. Maybe he is not there. So Mr. Nathan Wade, here's the latest that we have on it, did not show up for today's hearing, although he was subpoenaed. He was on the schedule. The proceedings did start. So there is a hearing happening right now. They decided to close the camera that was in the room because, the gentleman did not show up. The other issue is he sent his attorney to change the date. So they wanted a date sometime in March, late March. So he's trying to push it out until late March. And we're like, really? You got this subpoena, what, a week ago, 2 weeks ago? So allegedly, he did have a conflict and attempted to move the date last week. And the Georgia Senate Committee said, no, you're going to have to come in. So the assumption was that he was still going to come in. So instead of showing up, he did not show up because of this conflict. So it is what it is, but we have a plan B, chat, because one of the things that came out, you guys remember we did a stream like 2 weeks ago, and we were looking at all the shady places that people were registered to vote in Georgia. Well, there's like a part 3 to that. So we're going to watch that as a plan B. So for those that were looking forward to it, I'm just waiting for my reporter friends to give us the latest. But as of right now, people in the room have confirmed that Nathan Wade did not show up, that he's pushing for a March date, but the Georgia Senate Committee is likely going to say no again and issue another subpoena. Y'all are like, issue a warrant, okay? Put this man in jail, issue a warrant. So, I mean, it is just interesting because how do you duck and dodge subpoenas? And I was anticipating that Roy Barnes is going to be right next to him. It looks like another lawyer is standing in, because when Nathan testified in front of Congress, so the United States Congress, Roy Barnes was representing him in that discussion. So I don't think he's going to be arrested. A few of you guys are like, lock him up. But I don't think he's going to be arrested. But they are likely going to subpoena him again, or he's going to challenge it in court. This is what Fani did for like a year. She was supposed to testify in 2025 like 4 or 5 times in front of the Georgia Senate Committee. It didn't happen until December. So even with last month's hearing, or December's hearing, we were watching it every day because she has a habit of not showing up. So it is likely either he's going to challenge it in court or he's going to continue to try to get it moved. The latest on that should be forthcoming. So I have the news feed up over here. If anything pops up while we're watching this ballot stuff, I will keep you guys posted. The other thing is, now that I have a free day, we can watch the Pam Bondi hearing if y'all want. I mean, we could do that too, So I have a free day. I blocked off the whole day for this. So it's going to be very... let me go ahead and ban somebody from the channel. Boop. Okay. So now that person is banned, let's check out the voter fraud video. I think it's supposed to be pretty interesting. It's about 37 minutes long, and we'll go from there. So here it is. People registered to vote in strange places. Last time we had a ball watching this, but let's go back to this. It just came out yesterday. So let's take a peek.
is the beautiful Atlanta skyline.
And this is where one person is currently registered to vote from. And this is Jason.
And Jason, what are you going to show us today?
Well, today we're going to go around Atlanta, and I'm going to show you some parks. Grant Park, one of the nicer parks around Atlanta, has somebody registered to vote there. This beautiful park right behind us has 2 people registered to vote, and there are plenty of other spots where houses used to be 10, 15 years ago. People are still registered there, and I just want to expose the problems that we're having with these voter rolls and why it's not a conspiracy theory, Dana Barrett.
Not going to respond to conspiracy theories.
We visited some suspicious addresses in Fulton County where people are registered to vote.
Then we went to talk to lawmakers about it at the Capitol. And then the FBI raided it all.
And here's how it all went down. We are headed to Emory University here in Atlanta, Georgia.
We found that out of 1,200 students that are registered to vote from their dorm, 304 people,
304.
Yeah, don't actually have a corresponding dorm. So we want to see what actually happens in that case because 1, that's against Georgia law, right, Fabian?
Yeah.
And 2, we just kind of want to go ask questions. What's going on? We're at 17.
This is so interesting. So I think it was 2 weeks ago at this point, these guys have a newer channel, and basically what they do is kind of that that Nick Shirley style of going around and doing investigative reporting. So they're like, hey, where are the kids in Minnesota? Where are the kids? So it is interesting to see how these videos kind of pop up and what they find along the way. The music at the beginning is killing me. That is hilarious. So what we're seeing right now is they're going to more locations, starting with Emory University. So this is now students registered to vote from their dorms. It looks like they might have some issues with that as well. So let's see what they find.
62 Clifton Drive Northeast, which is actually home to Emory University.
And here there are 1,200 people registered to vote. And Jason, what's going on with this?
Well, I mean, there's a couple problems. 1, per Georgia law, it's OCGA 21-2-217 clearly says that you don't gain or lose residency simply by attending university. So unless you actually live here permanently, which we know, dorms are typically a temporary status, they shouldn't be registered here. But what makes it worse, and there are over 300 of these people that don't even have a box number.
That's a problem that we see here is that we're not saying that students aren't able to register to vote from their dorm, but there's an entire process by which they have to go through, which is listing, for example, their mail stop code. Which 304 people out of almost 1,200 people haven't done so.
There's also issues where someone can be voting in a different state, get a mail-in ballot there, but also vote here as well.
Right. If they're out-of-state students, they could easily be voting from their home state and here. And that's part of why we need these voter rolls to be across the country.
Just so we perfectly understand what's happening here, when these 304 people didn't put this mail stop code in order to show that they have a certain dorm, the mail-in ballot actually comes right here.
Yeah, and we know 300 mail-in ballots, if it's a hot election, could easily cause some problems.
That's exactly what I was going to say. In such a tight election, 300 ballots can have a massive...
Ladies, if over time your libido level...
Hold on. We got to switch. Hang on, guys. We are in the wrong account. We're going to make sure we have premium because we are not watching a video with ads.
This is a beautiful Atlanta skyline.
Not.
And this
My bad,
comes
y'all.
here, their ballots come here.
Yeah, so I wonder if there's like a system that tight election, 300 ballots can have a massive change on the outcome of the election.
Yeah, and this is just one location.
Let's actually go inside and see if anybody's actually registered to vote here. No, we can't even get in. Okay.
Maybe there's a...
Oh, it says for deliveries. Even better. Okay, so mail services around the building at 1650. Hey, what's going on? I'm guessing this is where they drop mail off for 1762 Clifton Drive Northeast. We're wondering, there's over 1,200 people that are registered to vote here. That means their ballots come here. Do you know anything about? Yeah, absolutely. 1,200 people are registered to vote here. 304 don't actually put their dorm number. That means the mail comes here, their ballots come here.
Yeah, so I wonder if there's like a system that, how it happens, if there's no unit number, how does the mail get to them or? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So they went to the back where there's this loading dock, right? and they want to see what the mail system looks like. And this gentleman's like, come on in, come check it out.
Good. How you doing?
Like the balance, mail balance. Is it for Georgia or just in general?
For Fulton County, so there's 1,200 people that are registered to vote from here, and 304 of them don't have a dorm number. So technically, their ballots come here.
Yeah. As long as they got the MSC number, I mean, that's what they usually separate the mail by the box. By the box or whatever, we put it in the folders.
Yeah, but what he was saying is 300 of them don't have a box number. We just want to make sure they get their
300
ballots.
don't have a box.
Yeah.
What do you
As
do?
long as the students is active in the system that they own the campus,
Okay.
we can give it to them.
Then you can
You
find
reach out to
Unless
them.
they need like a forwarding address or something. Other than that, what I mean? We can't. There's no way to.
And then if you find out that a student is no longer here, or goes to school here, do you know what happens to that ballot? Or
They don't leave us a forwarding address, we can't send it to them. I mean, we'd have to return the sender. I mean, they have to return that.
Yeah.
Usually, we usually packing and stuff. If it's for 30 days and if they don't get no response, we can return the sender. Amazon, FedEx.
Okay, so we are at Emory University, right? So this is our first stop. These guys have been doing a series of videos, and it is quite interesting. So we're on our first stop at Emory University. 1,200 students are registered to vote from Emory University. Now, in order to vote, one of the things that you need to have in your address is a mailbox at the school. 300 of those kids don't have a mailbox at the school. So what the guys are asking, and they're kind of in the mail sorting center, is when that happens, when a student registered to vote and they did not include their box number, what happens to that ballot? So the gentleman in the black and with the black hat is saying, hey, in that scenario, we give them 30 days. And, if we can't track the student down, we can't find their dorm room or their mailbox or whatever, we have to return the mail back to the sender. So this actually kind of checks out. So we're starting off okay here, but this is stop number 1 at Emory. Let's see what the rest of the conversation is like.
They should be notified. Said it would go back to the sender, and then they would be notified that it was undeliverable at that point.
Sure.
Got it. Has anybody from the county or the state ever come down here and asked about this? No.
I can't believe someone invited us into the facility, and we got some really good info.
Yeah, we did. And this next place made us laugh even more.
We are at 633 Central Avenue Southwest in Atlanta, Georgia. David, what is this?
This is a really funny one because the pin drops us right at Fulton County offsite staff and juror parking. Jason explained to us, we know that one person is registered to vote from this location. What is going on here?
When I served jury duty last year, the last thing I was thinking about was, you know what? I want to serve a little bit longer. I'm going to call this my house, and I'm going to register to vote here. No, I don't think that's what juries do. They want to get out of there as quickly as they can. I have no idea why somebody's registered to vote in the jury duty parking lot.
How are they even... Do parking lots have addresses, chat? Like, how are people even doing this? Do they have addresses for parking lots? This is interesting.
This blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean, this is absolutely absurd. This is extreme level of absurdity, and we laugh about it. But I was just thinking on the way over here, so goes the county, this county specifically, so went the election, some could say, in 2020. So because of things like this, everyone around the country is affected.
Glad you said that. That is why I've been working so hard to fix Fulton County, because if you can fix Fulton County, you can fix Georgia, you can save the country. It's simple as that.
Obviously, this parking lot doesn't make sense, but there is a building right next to it. So we're going to go check and see perhaps that is 633, where there maybe is somebody that is registered to vote from there. Although it seems like it's a business. So let's see what's going on up there.
And when we say this is right next door, we're literally walking. The camera is not stopping. We're walking to the place to verify if this is the correct address or if it's actually that lot.
Yeah, and we're looking again for 633, and we're also looking for a residential address. Jason explained there are residential addresses that are commercial businesses, or commercial addresses, but people are able to register to vote from there, correct?
Yeah, there are some. I mean, it's you've always got to double check everything, because sometimes it might flag as a commercial address, but it's simply somebody's house and they have a home business. So you've always got to double check those, and that's just what we're doing here.
And as we're walking up around this corner of what seems to be an abandoned building. Yeah,
Definitely
right?
abandoned building.
Wow.
Everything's blacked out.
You couldn't pass this by as a residential address that turned into a commercial address. Because
Then here we go. This is 181. So the entrance is on the complete opposite street.
why don't we maybe make a full circle around as well, just to check and see that 623 is still there, but sure, completely different.
So this is stop number 2, which included a parking lot for juries. But next door to it is another interesting address, and it looks like it's an abandoned building. I'm trying to listen to see how many people are registered at this abandoned building.
Number already 181. I'm sure completely different road.
We are literally a few hundred feet from the Georgia Capitol. From the Capitol.
Yeah, we drove by the Capitol on the way here. Dana could walk over.
Not going to respond to conspiracy theories.
I turned this address into the Secretary of State's office last year. They know about this.
Really?
Wow.
And nothing's been done.
Nothing's been done.
This is pretty much it.
Yeah.
I mean,
And if you pan around here, that's literally the end. So it does not exist.
so again, according to the Georgia Secretary of State's office, to the most recent voter rolls that they have, one person is registered to vote from here.
Unless it is a very long jury trial, I don't think they have any reason to be there.
When we got back and we looked at the footage, we realized that that place was actually a nightclub. So that makes it even funnier.
And this next one just really didn't make any sense at all. We are at 1559.
Okay, so they're bouncing around pretty fast here. For those that are just coming in, today's live stream was supposed to be focused on Nathan Wade. He was scheduled to testify at 9 a.m. this morning. He did not. He did not show up. This is me getting that information from local reporters on the scene. And also, he is pushing to get his testimony pushed back to March. He originally asked for this to be rescheduled, and they said no. So more to come on that. I have it pinned in the chat. So if you are seeing that we have switched topics, that's why. This was just a planned B topic. So we are looking at a recent video that dropped yesterday about some more odd places that people are registered to vote in Fulton County. We stopped at Emory University. We just did another stop at a parking lot. And now we are, it looks like it's an abandoned building. But these guys have been doing some independent journalism where they've been going around to some of these places where people are registered to vote on the voter rolls that are problematic. The reason why they're doing this is really to raise awareness. You know, like I think I saw or I heard, and you're going to love this, chat, somebody registered to vote at a chicken place. I don't know if it's Raising Cane's. I don't know if it's Wingstop, but I heard that that might be included in this video. So that is your update on Nathan Wade. He did not show up this morning. Again, I have people on site just looking at my phone. And as soon as I have a better update on what the senators are saying, they turn the cameras off. So that is why we are transitioning to our plan B. So I'll keep y'all posted. But in the meantime, we got about a half hour to kill. So we'll be checking out these voter locations. Let's keep going.
Johnson Road Northwest in Atlanta.
And this is a youth homeless shelter where there's a ton of people who are actively registered to vote here. What's going on here, Jason?
This one jumped out because of how many people are registered to vote here. So that's why I wanted to start looking at it. There are currently 205 people registered at this location, which might be okay. But if you go on their website, it shows that there's only 60 beds. So I don't want to say, I'm not saying anything bad about this location. They might be doing great things here. They might be helping the children. That's what it really looks like. They're helping the youth. And I hope it's exactly what it is. But the problem is with the registrations, with the county maintaining the voter rolls. That's all this is. When people come here to get help, that's great. I'm glad they're coming here. They register to vote, but when they leave, they should come back off. They don't stay here forever. There are registrations here that have been here since 2011. Which this is temporary. So there shouldn't be people on for that long. And it also shows on their webpage that it's for children or kids between 18 and 21 years old. However, there are registrations of people that were born in 1949.
Wow.
So
1949.
yes,
Registered here.
registered right here. So a little outside of the range that they advertise on the website. But the biggest problem is, why are there 205 people still here when it's only for 60 people?
We're not attacking this facility or homeless people being able to vote. It's just odd that there's 60 beds here.
Okay, let's check out this website. Here we go. I pulled it up. Covenant House, Georgia. What is it? It's youth homelessness, right? They it looks like they are there to help people, give them a place to sleep, give up your bed for one night to raise funds and awareness for young people, things like that. Here's their services. So it's a crisis shelter for youth. It looks like they do have like apartments and things like that. But this is located in Georgia, and these guys showed up there. But when they're talking about ages, if it's a youth shelter, then you probably stay there until you're 18 or whatever the case may be, or you age out. They're finding people with dates of birth in 1940. So these are a lot. These are people that are older and probably have aged out of the system. Why are they registered to vote there? Right. So that's a little suspicious as well, but it is very interesting. Let us come back and see what else they find out from their investigation.
Here, 205 people are registered to vote here, and then also the date of births. If this is a facility for 18 to 21-year-olds, people born in the 40s probably shouldn't be on the voter rolls here.
So someone who's 75 years old was registered to vote at a place meant for 18 to 24-year-olds.
Yeah, that's funny. But this next place has a beautiful view of the skyline. There's just no building. And now we're at 71 4th Street Northeast, and seems like there's nothing here. Is that right, Fabian?
Yeah, in fact, Google Maps indicated that the last time there was something here was in 2007. And so, Jason, what is happening?
Well, it looks like there might be something here one of these days, but today there's no house. I mean, that guy might work a lot of hours, but he doesn't live here. I mean, he's not here today, at least. I think it's time for these registrations to get cleaned up.
Absolutely. And according again to the Secretary of State's office, to the voter rolls that we got from them, it says that there's one person that is registered to vote from right here.
And there's another one on the other side of the block that we're going to walk over to here in a moment to see, is there somebody there?
Here's the thing is, if anyone from the city, people say, oh, it takes a lot of work, a lot of man hours. It'll take 10 seconds to drive by this and clearly see that something is wrong and to purge that person from the voter rolls.
Yeah. Or all they have to do is look at their tax records. I mean, it's easy to compare tax records. It shows vacant lot whenever you look it up. So it would be easy to do. They just don't want to. And It's not a matter of money, because Fulton County has $33 million this year to do this.
Jason, I think you actually made a really good point. We talk about having to come out here and see it for yourself, somebody from the Secretary of State's office.
That is interesting. So the state has the money and the funds to work on this sort of stuff. And, I'm seeing some really fun comments come in. And of course, I'm not tolerating that on this channel. This is really to raise awareness on what's happening in Georgia and some of the odd places that people are registered to vote, right? So, this doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. At the end of the day, it is showing that there are problems with the system. And we all participate in it, right? We all participate in our votes, but at the same time, you're seeing issues with this, right? So let's keep going and see what else we could find.
But you can actually do all this online. Google Maps will show you that. The tax records for the county will show you that.
Yeah.
So the Secretary of State's office, people that work in there, could simply do that from the comfort of their office.
Right. You don't have to come out and enjoy the beautiful day, but you could.
Not going to respond to conspiracy theories.
And now we're going to go to another place that's just down the road.
It'll be fun to see what we can find. There are people registered here. They registered in 2019 and 2022 at these addresses. This has been gone way before that, so I'm not sure how they got registered here when it's just a grassy lot.
Yeah, and again, according to Google Maps, the last time that something was right here, we're about to see it, was in 2007. So in 2010, the next picture, this was already gone. So now
we are at our second vacant lot
at 71 4th Street, which here you can tell that something was here a while ago. And actually, if you look at Google Maps, you can see that in 2007, this was Section 8 housing. Completely gone. You saw in 2010, you don't see it there anymore. And people are still registered to vote from here. You told us in the car while we were driving up here that people are still trying to register from this area and succeeding to do that.
They registered in 2019 and 2022 at these addresses. This has been gone way before that. It really bothers me that this wasn't a flagged address whenever it is clearly gone. They should have blocked that registration from ever going on the rolls.
Stuff like this should really, really anger voters because you don't know what's happening. You don't know who's doing it. You don't know who's allowing it. And you don't know who's just turning a blind eye to it. That should really anger people. It angers me. And I don't even live here.
We know we're talking about one or two people in most of these locations, but down ballot, Jason, what kind of effect does this have on down ballots?
Well, and you mentioned one or two locations, but it's one here, one there, and we could do this for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all over the state. And yes, down ballot, whenever you're looking at a mayor and city council race, something of that nature, sometimes they're won or lost by just a handful of votes. And when you're talking thousands across the city and across the state, it can really make a difference.
Now, this next one is my personal favorite.
Now, it wouldn't be a tour around Fulton County if we didn't stop at my favorite house, 850 Oak Street. And Jason, how many people are currently registered to vote from here?
You know, there were 20 people whenever I first stumbled upon it, but now, Fulton County's done a great job. They're down to 19, so maybe a few more years we can get down to 18.
Oh my
Exactly.
God.
This by far is my personal favorite because they're actually
So this one was in this was in last week's video as well. And there is a lovely mattress behind the guy wearing white. But it looks like, they've been raising awareness about all these issues with the voter rolls where people are registered to vote. Now, this video did go a little viral, I will say, between the last 2 or 3 weeks. And Fulton County's like, hey, we're going to take a peek at it. We're going to take a look at everything. And since they last checked, it looks like one person has been removed from the list. Just one. One of them has been removed from the list. Let's go back in.
is a house for once. But the house is, well, I don't know if you would call that a house. Let's just put it that way.
Got some good airflow.
Yes. Yes.
And as we could tell, they've definitely recently moved out. And if it was hard to tell anybody that this is a place where people are registered to vote from, you can definitely see that there's a mailbox so people can actually leave the ballot in case 19 people request a ballot from here. I think that in all seriousness, this is absurd because, okay, you don't have to go to all these places that we went to. You can just pick one address, a very famous address, it seems like, that you can find on the internet, come here and say, why are people on the voter rolls?
Someone needs to do something about the voter rolls here.
Not going to respond to conspiracy theories.
This doesn't make any logical sense to anybody.
And Fulton County has known about this for years. I mean, I tweeted about it a couple of years ago after I got tired of doing these challenges that Fulton County really wouldn't do anything about them anyway. So I figure, you know what, let's just show the world. And that's what we're doing today.
I mean, it's so easy for us to come out here that it begs the question of, is there something more than just mismanagement happening here?
Yeah, I strongly believe it's more than that. I mean, I just got some data from the EAC showing that Fulton County, who used to be at a 113% registration rate, has now gone up to 115%. And what that means is that is the number of people registered to vote versus voting age population. So
Wow.
for every 100 legal residents, warm bodies that can register to vote, there are 115 of those in Fulton County today.
Wow.
This is why.
Fabian, now I see why that's your favorite place.
And for this next one, we had to go to the really bad part of Atlanta. And now we are at 2820 Yates Drive Northwest.
And we were going to go and find the actual house, but this is the farthest that we can get because this is an active construction site and it doesn't seem like there's actually a home built there right now. So Jason, what's going on here?
Yeah, so we looked at this one and there are several roads within what used to be an apartment complex 10, 15 years ago when they tore it down. And I'm sure it was a bustling apartment complex with a lot of folks that lived there, but they've been gone for years. And whenever I looked at it, there were registrations from 2016 all the way up to 2025, even though this has been leveled for years. I was actually surprised to see that they're building today, which, that'll be a big improvement, but they shouldn't have been registering there.
People have been registered here to vote for a very long time. Nothing has been here. They're finally making something, but they still have not cleared the voter rolls when clearly they know nothing's here because they're building.
At some point, when people actually move into this area, what will happen is that we'll have 10, 15, 20 people registered to vote from one single place. And that's just going to continue to happen. Is that what we're getting right here?
Yeah, essentially what happens is when somebody moves into an area, they register to vote. When they leave, they stay on. Mm-hmm. And so it just continues to add and add and add until all of a sudden you have 115% registration rate like we've got in Fulton.
Do you think that there's some sort of incentive from the county to have these bloated voter rolls essentially?
No question. I mean, different precincts are sized based on the number of registrations on the voter rolls. So they're buying more equipment. They're hiring more staff. It increases the budget in Fulton County, which is now $33 million. Anytime there's that much money floating around, money goes places maybe it shouldn't.
Now, this one is ridiculous,
Okay.
and you just have to.
Before we go to our next stop, I am going to actually poll you guys because it looks like y'all are having some good dialogue in the chat right now. One of the big things that has been being talked about is should voting be federalized? So I'm going to ask you guys right now. We have a poll up. If you are in chat, here are your options. Should voting be federalized? I'm going to give you the option of yes, hard yes. I'm going to give you an option of hard no. And then we'll give you the option of require ID/address verification. You guys are coming, the votes are now coming in. It looks like the majority is saying yes for federalized voting. So far. Let's take a quick super chat break and then we're going to see where they go next. If you're just now joining us, this stream was supposed to be focused on Nathan Wade, who was supposed to come to a Georgia Senate committee hearing this morning. At 9 a.m. Around 9:30, we found out that he did not show up, even though he was under subpoena. He's currently trying to get the hearing moved to March. He asked for it already. They said no. So we're going to see what happened there. Let me read a few super chats, and then we will go right back on into this video, which shows some pretty odd places to vote in Georgia. Coming to super chats, and I think I did see a Cash App. Shout out to E. Capone, who sends me a $7 Cash App. Thank you so much, brother. Really appreciate you. Miss Crotty Shetty was in here bright and early, gifted 5 AV memberships. If you received a membership from Miss Crotty Shetty, please say thank you to her. Deanna pops in with a 2, says Nate ain't testifying against Fulton Fanny. Yeah, and she also did file a document yesterday. You guys know that with the Georgia election interference case against Trump and the others, those charges were dropped. The case was thrown out back in late November. Now that that's happened in January, Trump and many others had requested to get their attorney's fees paid back. His alone was about like 6.9 million. Collectively with the other defendants, it comes up to like 17 million. Now there's a big fight in Fulton, and this is aside from the whole ballot issue from the FBI raid. There's a big fight right now to see who's going to be paying for that. Does it come from Fani Willis's budget, or does it come from the taxpayers themselves, right? She filed a motion yesterday asking a judge for help, saying, hey, I don't want to, it shouldn't come from my budget. It shouldn't. And she was complaining about what was included in those attorneys' fees. Things like lobster for lunch came up. So that is interesting. I'll probably do a video for y'all on that this weekend. But that's the update with Fani Willis. It is Valentine's Day tomorrow, so maybe that's why Nathan's not showing up, but who knows? Shout out to GLS, the company. Hits me with the super sticker. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it. D's back again with a 2, says Nate knows in Fulton County, snitches get stitches. Yeah, he's going to have to say something. He is going to have to say something. And, I was taking a look at it's about 132 pages, but the last time he had testified in front of Congress, and he said, I don't recall, like something like 32 times. Like I was expecting that we were going to get a lot of I don't recalls today, but it looks like that is not the case. Shout out to Chris, hits me with a 5, says not sure if you've seen, but they found ballot stuffing and cheating, even in Democratic primaries in multiple cities. A couple races were even overturned. Wow, I have not seen that, but thank you, Chris. We'll definitely have to look into it. Hits me with another 5 here. He says, for a library card, I had to show my ID and a piece of mail. I also had to show ID to give a blood test last weekend. Voter ID is a no-brainer. That's it. Because with the brothers that we're looking at right now on the screen, they are going to different places where people are registered to vote. Now, I did see somebody else in chat who asked a good question. That question was, although you're registered to vote, are these people actually voting? Is the next question. I'm curious about that too. Are these folks voting? All right, let's go back in and see what else they find in their investigation. They're heading to the next stop. Let's see where they go.
See it for yourself.
We are here at 1060 Hardy Street Northeast in Atlanta, Georgia.
Which is just a MARTA bus station,
Another
according to
one.
the Georgia Secretary.
Another one. Another one. There's another bus station. I don't think this is the same bus station from last week. This is a different bus station. People are registered to vote at the bus station.
Secretary of State's office, on the voter rolls, there's one active individual registered to vote literally from the spot that we're standing in.
It's just one more bad address in Fulton County. Clearly, this is not a house. There shouldn't be somebody registered to vote here. I mean, I've missed a bus before. I didn't feel like that meant I lived there. I mean, you've been here for 10 minutes. Do you feel like you live here now?
I don't think this is my permanent house.
I don't think they live here either. So,
I'm thinking, if you're a delivery driver and you have a ballot that you're supposed to drop off, what do you even do here?
I don't see a mailbox.
I don't either.
And I bet you if we searched around for 5 minutes, we still wouldn't find a mailbox.
Yeah.
Question, why do you believe that it's so hard for any state official that can actually do something about it to just simply purge this bad address off the voter rolls?
It's not hard. And this address should never have been added to the voter rolls in the first place. When you look this up on tax records, it shows that MARTA owns this property. I don't believe MARTA has a short-term rental program. I don't think there are apartments anywhere at a MARTA station, so they should be flagged to where it's just never added to begin with.
So again, Jason, as some people have said in the last week, that this is a conspiracy theory.
Not going to respond to conspiracy theories.
What do you say to people who say this?
You know, when I first started, I wasn't sure what to think, but I got the voter rolls and I checked it out myself. Whenever you see it with your own eyes, the conspiracy goes away.
Now, Fabian, some people actually call this place a conspiracy theory.
Like Fulton County Commissioner Dana Barrett?
Not going to respond to conspiracy theories.
So now we're at 685 Boulevard Southeast. Technically, the pin drops us right across the street at a house, but the house number there is 621. The houses across the street are not the right ones. And when we look at the Google Maps side of it, it actually says it's the entrance to a popular park here in Atlanta, Grant Park. What's going on here?
Yeah, this is just one more example of dirty voter rolls in Fulton County. This person's been registered here since 2021, and they actually voted in last November's election.
So we have somebody that actually submitted a ballot.
Okay, chat. Now I think we got the answer to our question. Somebody was registered to vote at the park and they voted. Literally registered to vote at the park and voted. So these voter rolls are funny because at the end of the day, really all it takes is just some type of cleanup of it. Can they scrub the list? Is there some type of address verification that they can do to stop these like shady addresses from being used? It's very interesting. Their dirty voter rolls is right.
That says that they're registered to vote from right where we're standing at.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, Jason, I have heard politicians say that Georgia has the cleanest voter rolls. I just don't understand. For anyone watching, we're literally in front of a massive park, and you're telling me that someone is voting from here.
That's right. I mean, it's not hard to identify these. It took me minutes last night. You asked me about finding some new locations. It didn't take me very long to give you 30 interesting places to visit today.
Now we talk about errors that the Secretary of State office can make when they're, typing up a document or whatever it is. But
Sure.
when we looked at this address, there seems to not be anywhere else. The southeast location or the northeast location of this address was a Popeyes.
Oh no.
Right?
Yep.
So,
Popeyes.
Yep.
and that's for Commissioner Dana Barrett.
Not going to
Okay, I hope somebody's not registered to vote at Popeyes. I saw something about chicken. This woman that's on the screen as well, she was there the day of the FBI raid. She is one of the commissioners in Fulton County. And I think it's the guy with the microphone did ask her a few questions. And she said, hey, I'm not responding to conspiracy theories. And that's why they keep including this clip of her in the video. But wanted to explain that too. Let's go back in.
respond to conspiracy theories.
That she can see for herself. Sometimes it's errors. Well, the error would have placed it as a Popeyes.
Clearly, someone just either doesn't want to do the work and sending someone down here. There's gross mismanagement, there's negligence, or something more nefarious. That's what it seems like to me.
I agree. And even if they are errors, if you're not checking to see that a registration address even exists, I mean, there is no house here. There's never been a house here. you've got to check. I mean, if there is a real person and they live somewhere, you want to make sure you get their real address. It would be an easy check to see, does this exist? The answer is no.
But Jason, I'm confused. Isn't this their job? Isn't this what they get paid for by the taxpayers to do?
Well, Fulton County's budget this year is $33 million. I'm not being paid to do this. You're not being paid to do this, but yet we're doing the job for Fulton County and exposing these, hoping that maybe they will clean this up.
So the crazy thing to me is, Jason, you just told me that someone voted from here last year in the general election in 2024.
2025.
2025.
Yes, that's correct.
That just doesn't make any sense.
Right. I mean, it's one thing to make a mistake, but that means that if this person was registered at that point in time, which that's what the voter roll shows, they were registered here, they would have had to have gone to the precinct and agreed that this is where they live. And we're walking around here and I don't see them.
I mean, I do see some people, but it looks like it's families just on a stroll, as you would expect in a park.
I think
right?
they are a temporary resident.
There you go. Jason, you said that you've submitted places like this place exactly, right?
That's how I found it. I just went through all the addresses that I had actually notified Fulton County and the Secretary of State's office that these are not houses. These are not addresses. So they know about this and they allowed this person to vote here just last year.
You found this place, you submitted it, you said something's going on here. Did anything happen? Did they do anything?
They are supposed to, whenever you find one of these issues, you turn it in as a registration challenge. I mean, again, it's not my job to do this for them. By law, they're supposed to be maintaining the voter rolls, but when they fail and I turn it in, they're supposed to research this and try to find the house. If they can't find the house, it is their duty to remove that person.
And these voter rolls are fresh. These are the newest ones. So
January of this year.
So nothing's been done.
Nothing's been done. And I turned this in either 2022 or 23. So it's been a few years. They've had time.
This is shocking, huh? We're looking at the park and somebody is not just registered to vote from here, but as Jason told us, has actually submitted a ballot in the last election.
I think the most shocking part of anybody watching this is that not only is someone doing that here, but Jason told them that this is happening. It's their job to check on these things. And after he told them, still nothing has been done, and the person just voted.
And they don't have an excuse. They have plenty of money, $33 million to run elections here.
But David, this is a conspiracy theory. Don't forget, it's a conspiracy theory.
Not going to respond to conspiracy theories.
We're joking around that this would be a pretty good place to actually take the commissioner of Fulton County, Dana Barrett. What do you think, Fabian?
I mean, how far is her office from here?
Jason?
10 minutes?
Yeah, not far, but you know, it's a beautiful day. We've got some sunny days coming up. She might want to walk around and maybe she can find that voter.
Not going to respond to conspiracy theories.
So Dana Barrett is an open invitation to come with us. We'll take you here. We can even have a picnic. And then maybe you can explain to us where exactly someone can vote here. Because I don't see anything.
Mailbox?
Anything.
Yeah, there seems to not be a mailbox in this trash can. We kind of walked around this place. There's no mailbox, but I mean, maybe if Dana joins us for a nice little picnic here, maybe she'll be able to locate the mailbox.
I mean, look, if you're running for Secretary of State, you should be happy to do something like this. You should prove to the voters, look, I uncovered this with the help of all of us, and I did something about it.
Not going to respond to conspiracy theories.
Otherwise, what are you even doing?
I think what she's doing is running from the truth.
She's running.
Definitely running.
We posted a small clip of the park, and Newsmax reached out to us to come on their show and talk about it.
Welcome in now, Fabian Garcia and David Kay, the founders of Frontlines and one of the leading groups exposing these voter irregularities. I am plugged in and keeping up with you guys every single day, or every time you have a new update at least. And tell us about the latest find that you found somebody that was registered to vote in a park. And I guess if I'm playing devil's advocate, you could say, well, maybe this person was homeless and lived in a tent in the park. But tell us why that doesn't smell quite right. Fabian, first to you.
So being out in Georgia is like being on a different planet when it comes to this, because it's been in the news so much. We wanted to go out and see for ourselves, are these things that we're hearing actually true? So we obtained the voter rolls and we started going out to places, just visiting addresses, very easy to do. And what we found just really, I honestly can't believe it.
Yeah. David?
Yeah, it's crazy. As you said, potentially somebody that is homeless could be registered from that area. But the thing is that violates every single law that we have here in Georgia, especially the reforms that we've had after the 2020 election. If you're homeless, the place that you would register to vote from in Fulton County is the Fulton County Registrar's Office. So no longer should there be people registered to vote on the most updated Secretary of State's voter rolls from places like parks.
This is the beautiful Capitol here in Atlanta, Georgia, where that is Well, we are going in today
Actually, let's cross here. So
to talk to some lawmakers about voter irregularities.
Yeah, as you've probably seen by now, we've uncovered over 3,000 voter irregularities just by going around Fulton County for a few hours. But uncovering this stuff isn't enough, right?
So all the spots that they've been to so far, they found 3,000 irregular. I can't talk today. Irregular. Oh my God, why can't I say that? Irregular things, right? This week. But in their last video, I think there was somewhere around 2,000. So just in 2 or 3 videos, we found 5,000 issues so far. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. But let's go back in and see what else we find.
We got to go figure out what kind of policy changes can the state legislature enact in order to make sure that this doesn't continue.
Yep.
Likely, Congresswoman, you want to join in real quick?
One of the most ridiculous ones was right across the street at the Presbyterian Center.
2,000 people.
Right there, so they can't say, "Oh, I'm busy" or "I don't have time." It's literally outside of the steps. It's the closest thing to the Capitol.
And if it doesn't get cleaned up, it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
And again.
Yeah. Well, that's the question we keep having is if it's so simple just to go out and see, okay, it says they're on the voter list. They're currently on the voter list, but it's an empty lot. Why not just to take them off? And that's what we're trying to figure out.
You don't have to do it all at once. You can do it precinct by precinct, county by county.
Yeah.
Verify, abandoned houses, verify, it's now a park. We built a park. Those houses aren't there anymore.
Can't be registered there.
Yes.
And it's not like it takes a lot of manpower either. I mean, what we found, and you can have someone from some office just go out and say, "Oh, got 70 more off the list, got 1,000 more off the list."
Yeah. And there would be people that would do it for free.
Yeah.
This guy's been doing it for free.
Spending his own money doing it.
I know a few of them.
Yes. Yeah, you've done your fair share.
Yes. In my own county, there's people that are investigating the voter. Everybody wants a clean election.
Yeah.
Everybody. I don't care what initial or not is involved. Everybody wants a clean election. It's not too much to ask.
Now that we've kind of uncovered and exposed it for a bigger audience, I guess what are the appropriate measures to solve these issues?
Accountability.
Yeah.
We have to change leadership. We have to change our constitutional offices. Whoever's going to win needs to do the cleanup. They have to do the cleanup.
And some would say, I mean, this is top down, pretty much Republican state. It's not even the Republicans aren't really doing anything about this.
Right. Well, sometimes when you have a bureaucracy that's large, just stuff doesn't get done for whatever reasons. I'm not saying whatever people's reasons are, but it needs to stop and it needs to get cleaned up. And this is what I'm worried about. I'm worried that we're going to lose the base. People are going to stay home, not vote because of this issue, and then we'll be in a world.
That makes sense.
That's my biggest fear.
People don't think their vote's going to count because they've seen it.
I have family members that are saying they'll vote for me, but they're not going to vote for anybody else because they don't trust the system. That's not good.
That's a big problem.
We've got a governor, we've got Secretary of State, we've got Lieutenant Governor. I mean, I know who I'm voting for, but they need to plan.
Yeah.
I think from the outside looking in, before I got into this, I heard about all this stuff, but it seems like it's an entity, but you have no idea who runs it or who can change it. So I think even putting names or even certain committees, so people at least know, oh, okay, this is the committee that has to change it. Oh, who's on the committee? What are their phone numbers? How do I get a hold of them?
Write email. You can go to the committees. We've got a meeting on Thursday with the Senate Ethics Committee. That's in the Senate side. That's who looks at election integrity bills. It's House Governmental Affairs, and I don't see anything on their calendar coming up, but they'll be talking about it. Hopefully, you guys can make some noise. All right, let's get to it.
So something big just happened in Fulton County where the FBI raided the Fulton County election office, and we're heading there right now, just getting gas. We're going to meet Jason down there.
Interesting.
This is the Fulton County.
Okay. All right. So I think now we have line of sight of when they were doing all of this, right? So I think this was the day of the raid because you see all those reporters that are out there, and he might actually show us the footage of when they were talking to the commissioner. I'm actually looking forward to this. Let's see what happens here.
The election office, which was just raided by the FBI. What is your name?
So I'm Fulton County Commissioner Dana Barrett.
Okay. And what are you here to do?
I'm here to figure out what's going on.
Okay.
Do I have to go the other side? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm here to just get the lay of the land. I've been getting a lot of updates on my phone about what's going on here, and so I'm just here to get in there in person and see if I can get a look at the warrant.
And what do you hope to find in there?
Well, I mean, I want to know what's going on and what they're trying to take, whether it's legal or not, and just get an update from our county attorney.
You're running, of course, for Secretary of State. I imagine this is certainly something that's concerning you.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think this whole thing that's happening today is political theater. This is really about distracting us from the killings in Minnesota. Throw a lot of FBI agents into Fulton County. The ire of Trump from 2020 on. I mean, this is really just political theater. There's a court case that's in play, but the courts, I guess, are not acting fast enough for the Trump administration, so they have decided instead to use these bully tactics to get what they want, the same way they're doing in other places across the country. And frankly, this is all part of a concerted effort to undermine our elections in a very critical county to the future of this country in terms of the 2026 and 2028 elections. What we're talking about here is trying to sow enough doubt about Fulton County's ability to run elections that the state elections board, which is controlled by MAGA, can take over our elections and get whatever outcome they want.
You can't.
You know, I'm really just trying to get the lay of the land and make sure if there's anything we can do legally to stop this, that we do that, and if and to make sure that we're complying legally as we're supposed to.
Did anyone ask you to come?
Oh, absolutely not. This is just us coming down to do our job as commissioners. I know some of my fellow commissioners are here already. We are just trying to do our job and make sure we're aware of what's going on and that we're doing everything that we're supposed to legally and not one bit more.
One of the things that you would be in charge of if you become Secretary of State is maintaining the voter rolls. We went around Fulton County the last few weeks and we see that people are currently registered to vote in places like empty lots, homeless shelters that closed 10 years ago. What would you do if you become Secretary of State to address that?
I'm not going to reply to conspiracy theories.
It's not conspiracy. It's a current. You can currently go on the voter rolls, purchase them for $45, and go there with us. We will gladly take you if you want to go to.
I appreciate what you're saying. I'm not going to respond to conspiracy theories.
How is that a conspiracy theory? It's an active voter rolls.
Yeah, and this is where she walks off. Okay, so I do remember seeing clips of this everywhere. I didn't realize that it was the same guys from Frontlines that are going around and checking out these odd places where people are registered to vote, right? But he's letting her know, like, it's not a conspiracy theory if we're actually going there and verifying it. Like, we could see it. We could see the empty lots. We could see the Popeyes. We can see the, the homeless shelters. We could see the abandoned buildings. We saw the house with the mattress in front of it. And what was the other one? Physicaladdress.com. We saw all of those things. So, for her to say that it's a conspiracy theory, now I understand why they keep putting that clip throughout this entire video and want to raise awareness on it, But if she is running for Secretary of State, taking over for Brad, this is something that needs to be cleaned up. That's all it is. Just clean it up. That's it. What's the plan? How are we going to clean it up?
If you're going to be running for Secretary of State, you're in charge of maintaining the voter rolls. Don't you care about if people are registered to vote from empty lots?
Your questions. I appreciate it. I've got to.
Do you think it's a conspiracy theory that people are registered to vote from empty lots, though? Well, I have the ability to go wherever I want to. People are currently registered to vote in empty lots, Commissioner. And if you're going to run for Secretary of State, aren't you going to at least take a look at that? It took me $45 to purchase the voter rolls. You can do that as well for the Fulton County. You can see that people are registered to vote from empty lots. They're registered to vote at a MARTA bus station. Are you not going to do anything about that? You're just going to call that conspiracy theories again? We have exact addresses that you can go to right now. 205 Elm Street Northwest. It's an empty lot. You can go there right now and see it for yourself. Do you not care about that? You're an elected official and you don't want to address that? Commissioner, if you're going to be running for Secretary of State and that involves maintaining clean voter rolls in one of the most important counties, I would say, in the United States.
I think what you're doing is extremely dangerous.
Why is it dangerous?
Because you're spreading conspiracy theories.
It's not a conspiracy theory. Do you have $45? I'm not undermining. I'm not saying people are voting there. Ma'am, I'm not saying that people are voting there. I'm not saying people are voting there. I'm saying people are currently registered to vote there. Jason, right? People are currently registered to vote there. We're not saying people are voting there, Commissioner. We're saying clean the rolls. She's running for Secretary of State who'll be in charge of maintaining the voter rolls. What do you think?
It would be a disaster if she got Secretary of State. There is no way she'll win, but she is fully aware of these bad addresses. She's seen them firsthand because I've turned them into Fulton County Board of Elections. And, you know, she knows about this. She's just trying to hide it.
That is crazy. So they included the footage. I didn't know that it was the same Frontlines guy. All right, now I'm going to ask you, chat, because we still have our poll up in the chat right now. I'll let you know where we are. Should voting be federalized? 54% of you said yes. 11% of you said no. 35% of you say require ID and address verification. So looks like a majority does want this to be cleaned up, at least from our chatterhood, from our little neighborhood over here on the internet, but is very interesting. So now the question becomes, because she was saying that it's a conspiracy theory. So I'm going to ask you, if you think it's a conspiracy theory, please type 1 in the chat. If you're like, no, AV, we just saw it, it's definitely not a conspiracy theory, put a 2 in the chat. Let's look at what the Court of Public Opinion thinks, because she did get in the car pretty quickly, and she did say that conspiracy theories are dangerous. We got our numbers coming in. I see some 2s so far, mostly 2s so far. Got some more 2s coming in. I see a 1. I see a 1. Keyshawn, you're being funny. Michael Love is in the building. Miss Helena, good to see you. Mostly 2s. Mostly 2s. We've got a 2 here. We've got a 2 here. For those that are popping in, we've been live for about an hour now. Nathan Wade was scheduled to testify today. He did not show up under subpoena. The reason why is because he's trying to move the date. He already asked them to move the date last week, and the senators said no. So they decided, today's hearings has been, at least they stopped televising it. So they're talking about other matters, like the hearing is going on right now. But I am waiting to hear from reporters that I have back on the ground to see what's going on, what is the final result of it. It is a subpoena, but Fonnie Willis was dodging subpoenas too, right? Mostly 2s in the chat right now. Thank you guys for letting us know what is going on and how you're feeling, Court of Public Opinion. Looks like there's a little bit of time left on this, and then I'll come to you guys for some super chats, and I'll give you the plan for the rest of the day, because I have not seen the Pam Bondi hearings because we've been so busy preparing for today and making videos about today. So that might be an alternative for Plan B, since I got a clear day, so we might as well check it out. Let's go back to this and see what happens.
Jason, what is happening directly behind you right now?
Well, right now, David and I were around the side of the building, and we saw the 3 box trucks and the FBI truck just kind of hanging out, and they started to move around. And my theory is on the other side of that wall is where the 2020 ballots, poll tapes, all the information for 2020 has been stored since they built the warehouse.
Currently, the FBI is executing a search warrant, and behind me are trucks that are docked into the warehouse. They are currently loading the trucks with various ballot boxes from the 2020 election.
It looks like you've gotten some wild footage. Just pop that up, Klein. Like filming actually inside of the election center itself, and the federal agents raiding this election center. What has it been like?
I saw FBI trucks just come in at first. I wasn't there for that, but I saw that once I got there. But the coolest part was seeing trucks come, big white trucks just come out of nowhere, start to load up into the docking area of the warehouse. And then hours later, we saw FBI agents in there through a small little wall, going through what seemed to be ballot boxes and loading them up onto the truck. And about 11 or 10 p.m. at night, after being there for 8-9 hours, they finished their job and then they left. These may look like random truck boxes, but Jason, explain to us what is currently happening 10 feet away from us.
Yeah, David, this is a beautiful day. We've been trying to get these ballots, everything from 2020, pretty much since 2020. We've been told time and again, everything was fine. Don't worry about it. Why are you investigating 2020? This happened so many years ago. You know what? If there was nothing to hide, they would have showed us years ago. Now we're going to find out. These trucks are on their way to Virginia. They're going to be out of state very soon, and it is time to get to the bottom of 2020.
So basically, it's about 700 ballot boxes from the 2020 election, because again, this is the Fulton County election office. Today, FBI executed a search warrant where they seized essentially those 700 boxes.
Everything.
And now they've officially left. This is the train, as we'll say, that's on the way, hopefully, out of Georgia.
In safe keepings.
Exactly. Now, this is just the beginning to the story. The state is now fighting against the federal government when it comes down to the ballots.
Yeah, this story is not going anywhere, and neither are we. And if you'd like to contribute to what we are doing, consider donating at givesendgo.com/investigate. It really helps.
All right, that concludes their video on their investigation. Like I said, we have been following these guys for a little bit, just seeing what has been happening. The last time that they released some videos, they did go viral about this entire issue, and it was around the time of the FBI raid. So it looks like that was their follow-up, and we found some really odd places where people are registered to vote, like bus stations, you know, I think physicaladdress.com. You're finding issues with dorms and students and things of the like. You know, it's if it's happening in Fulton County, it's likely happening somewhere else in your state, dear viewer. You know, I know a lot of you guys are international. Some of you guys watch and you're like, hey, that doesn't happen in the UK. Like, we are required to show what we're doing, you know? So very, very interesting stuff. Let me just make sure I caught all of our super chats. Shout out to GLS with 5 says, I can't even order food on Uber Eats without the app fixing my address to make sure it's real addresses. There has to be technology out there to help clean up the voter rolls. Like, shit, have ChatGPT do it at this point. Like, just feed it in ChatGPT and have it fix it. You know, that's all people are asking for is transparency and to clean these up. So I'll keep you guys posted on what's happening in that, the whole fight between Fulton County and the federal government, because at the end of the day, people are looking for transparency and just to have everything operate the right way. Shout out to Atlanta with the 2 says, maybe Nathan's alarm didn't work this morning. No, it worked. It worked because his lawyer was like, he's not showing up today, but we can come on this day instead. So it seems like he's been trying to fight his way out of this subpoena. Can Congress hold him in contempt is the question, right? When it comes to congressional powers, you got to look at it like this. Bonnie dodged their subpoenas for almost a year and a half, almost 2 years. She finally testified last December, right? And she said, oh, Christmas is coming early, right? But she ended up testifying. You can't dodge them forever. So we're going to see what happens. I thought he was going to show up because when it came to the United States Congress, he had one original hearing, but they rescheduled on him. But he did show up in October of 2024 to his hearing. He said, I don't recall, like 31 times in that document that I reviewed, like in the transcript. So we can anticipate that. But as of now, the latest on the ground is that he is scheduled or trying to get this rescheduled to mid to late March. So I'll keep you guys posted on that one. That concludes all of the super chats. I'm going to come to the poll to see how you guys are feeling before we end. I have 540 votes. The question was, should voting be federalized? 53% of you guys said yes. 11% of you said no. 35% of you said require ID and address verification. So really interesting stuff. I'm going to answer a few questions. Orphan says, is this a Nathan Wade hearing video AV talked about in a different video? Yes, it was scheduled for today. So that is why we are not watching it, because he did not show up. So here's what we're going to do. It is 10:42 Eastern Standard Time. I have my dog that needs to be walked. So I'm going to go ahead and do that since we have some free time for the day. If you guys are interested and you want to watch the Pam Bondi hearing from Wednesday, I've not had an opportunity to look at it yet, but it is about 5 hours of raw footage. I'll probably get through it in 3. So if we will live stream again, I just need to take an hour or 2 and probably be back here around noon if you want to watch that collectively as a group, because I have not seen it. It's really in reference to the Epstein files. So I've been following 2 matters, legal matters, very closely. One is what's happening here in Fulton County, and the other is what's happening with the Epstein files. There's a lot of content coming out regarding the Epstein files and, you know, how it was released. I remember about a year ago, Pam Bondi said that she had the files and was ready to release them. But you guys know that the way it was released probably wasn't the cleanest. They're coming out as far as transparency, but the other issue with them is, you know, not even witnesses, victims, their names are not being redacted, things like that. But then there are questions like, hey, you did some level of redacting. You did some redacting, but the witnesses here are not protected. Helena, I trust in Helena. She is a mod here, says, I already saw it. That's why I'm done. So we're going to see what happens with that. Really curious. I will be back in about an hour. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do me a favor, hit the like button on this video and get it out to more people. Shout out to the brothers that have actually been at Frontline, that have actually been doing this work. I'm going to try to send them a donation myself on behalf of the channel, just because they've been doing that great work and exposing what's happening in Fulton County. So I will definitely send them a little bit of something and see if maybe they'd be open to an interview. Would you guys want to see me and them together and have a conversation about what's going on? We'll probably do that. Before we go, let me grab this super chat. Shout out to Deanna with the 2, says Fulton and Canton counties run like the mob. Yes, so Fulton County looks like it's being run by a mob, and Canton is actually in Norfolk County up here in Massachusetts. And that's last year we watched the whole Karen Reed case. She was being framed for murder, for murdering a Boston police officer. And it looks like other police officers did it. So that whole whodunit is huge. So we're going to keep track of that as well. I think there's a hearing today on the Karen Reed matter at like 4 o'clock. So they're going to give us an update on that as well. All right, folks, I will see you in the next one. Stay safe out there. Bye.